They told you freedom was doing whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. They told you success was a product of luck, connections, or talent. But they lied, because real freedom, the kind that builds empires and transforms souls, doesn't come from escape. It comes from mastery. Mastery of self, mastery of thought, mastery of time, of emotion, of action. Real freedom is earned through discipline. Let that sink in. The world worships impulse, the dopamine drip of distractions, the illusion of ease, the seductive pull of mediocrity dressed up as self-care. But while they scroll, you sharpen. While they rest on the illusion of balance, you prepare for war, not against others, but against the lesser version of yourself, the version that hits snooze, the version that quits halfway, the version that waits for motivation to appear like some divine wind. Discipline doesn't wait. Discipline doesn't flinch. It shows up, rain or shine, fear or fatigue. It is the voice inside you that says, "Get up. We're not done." And that voice is how millionaires are made, not in bank accounts, but in the mind, because before the world knows your name, you must conquer the battlefield of your own thoughts. Ask Andrew Carnegie. Ask Edison, who failed 10,000 times and still smiled. Ask Lincoln, who tasted failure more than victory before the history books ever remembered his name. These weren't men of privilege. They were men of persistence, of structure, of brutal honesty. They trained their minds like warriors, not to seek comfort, but to seek clarity, because the undisciplined mind is chaos. It is emotion without reason, impulse without direction. Power, unchanneled, becomes destruction, but power channeled by purpose becomes destiny. Understand this. The mind is a tool. It can serve you or sabotage you. Most people, they live in servitude to it, tossed around by doubt, fear, distraction. But the few, the rare few, train it like a soldier sharpens his blade. That's what discipline is, the sharpening of the mind, the daily deliberate rejection of weakness in favor of strength, the decision to act, not once but again and again, until what once required force becomes flow. Every morning you rise early. When the world still sleeps, you cast your vote. You tell your mind, "I am the master, not the slave." And over time, it listens, thought by thought, routine by routine. Transform, but discipline is not born in ease. It is forged in fire. It is found in the cold mornings when you don't feel like moving, in the silent evenings when doubt whispers louder than reason, in the broken moments when you failed for the 50th time and your ego begs you to stop. That's where discipline steps in and says, "We go again." Do you think Steve Jobs built Apple on motivation? Do you think Walt Disney imagined castles in the sky while sipping lattes and waiting for the stars to align? Number, they built on grit, on obsession, on structure. They lived by design, not default, and that is your calling, not to be a leaf in the wind, but to become the wind, because when you train your mind, you train your destiny. Your mindset is not a soft concept. It is the architecture of your life. Every thought you repeat is a brick. Every habit is a beam. And discipline is the blueprint. Without it, you build nothing but ruins. Let me ask you something. What are you building? Are you building a future that commands respect? Or are you building excuses disguised as reasons because your future self is watching? And it's not your dreams that will get you there. It's the sacrifice, the repetition, the relentless pursuit of better when nobody's watching. Clarity is the compass, but discipline is the engine. And clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from deciding more. Every day you are deciding who you will become. Not in grand gestures, but in tiny moments, in what you say yes to, in what you say no to. In the silence between impulse and action, train your mind to pause in that space. Millionaires don't just know what they want. They know what they are willing to suffer for, because that's the real cost of success. Pain, repetition, delay of gratification, saying no to 10 things for the one thing that truly matters. The world will call you obsessed. Let them. They called Elon Musk crazy. They called Henry Ford a fool when he said he'd put the average man behind the wheel of a motor car. They mocked vision because vision always looks like madness to the blind. But discipline makes it real. Discipline is what turns the invisible into the inevitable. It's not glamorous. It's not viral. It won't get you 100 likes. But it will get you freedom. Not the freedom to do less, the freedom to do more. To do what matters. To say no to the noise. To silence the outside world because your internal world is louder. And that begins by owning your morning. Because if you can win the morning, you can win the day. And if you can win enough days, you will win your life. But winning doesn't feel like victory at first. It feels like repetition. It feels like loneliness. It feels like work that no one claps for. But that's how it works. The seeds of greatness are planted in silence. Your mind will fight you at first. It will scream for comfort. It will crave the familiar. But your job is not to obey it. Your job is to lead it, because the mind, like a wild horse, must be broken in. Not with cruelty, but with direction. Each morning you pull the reins. Each night you tie it down with intention. Eventually it stops resisting and starts running with you, not against you. That's when the magic happens. Not when life gets easier, but when you get sharper, stronger, focused, because the goal isn't comfort. It's power, and power comes from structure, from routine, from the self-respect that builds when you do what you said you would do, especially when no one is watching. That's the real wealth. Not cars, not houses, but integrity. To live in alignment with your highest vision, and that alignment is impossible without discipline. Not because you're perfect, but because you're committed, and commitment is not a mood. It's a vow. The undisciplined wait for motivation. The disciplined act without it. They build systems, guard their mornings like sacred ground, turn their routines into rituals, because they know every repeated action becomes a neural pathway. Every choice becomes character. You are not born disciplined. You become it. You etch it into your soul with daily practice. You deny yourself the easy path and earn the right to lead yourself. Because once you can lead yourself, no force in this world can stop you.